Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna be doing a DIY kind of decor video with you guys today. I haven't done one of these in quite a while, but I was just kind of feeling a little bit creative, wanted to be a bit crafty, and yeah, have a little play around, have an experiment. I've got a few different ideas I wanna try and tackle today. Experiment is the key word here because I've not done any of these bits before. I just had a few ideas or certain things I've maybe seen on Pinterest or whatever that I wanted to kind of put my own spin on. So yeah, these could go well or they could go wrong. I do not know. So a few of these are gonna be kind of autumnal themed, but not all of them. So there's a little bit of a mix, but yeah, I will show you guys what I'm up to and how I do it.
So on my road there have been so many fallen conkers and I thought these would make a really great centerpiece. I actually had a spare jar that I thought could make a really good hurricane jar with a candle in it. So I drew on a piece of card around the hurricane candle and then drew a bigger circle around that as well, just to create a kind of base for this centerpiece. So as you can see, I kind of made like a donut shape, and then I just got my hot glue gun and I started kind of gluing conkers onto it. There was literally no rhyme or reason. I was just kind of like putting them wherever I thought looked good. One tip I would say is that definitely maybe start with your hurricane jar actually in the template, because I found that the conkers kind of pushed the jar off center a little bit, so it looked a little bit skew-if. But I just kept on kind of gluing and building up layer by layer just to make a kind of centerpiece. I've seen that a lot of people have done this kind of same effect with wreaths that hang on the door, and I think just the rust kind of red colours look really, really nice and really autumnal as well. So this was the finished piece. It didn't turn out exactly how I would have liked. It looked a little bit messy, it had a lot of glue on it. I thought it was quite nice, maybe as part of a centerpiece, but it definitely needed other things around it, but a very cheap, fun autumnal project to do. So next up, I had this spare photo frame, which I wanted to create a kind of autumnal graphic piece with. So I took out the kind of backing card and the photo, so I was just left with the glass. I took a piece of paper, drew around the glass just to have a little template in place. And then I found a typographic design that I wanted to replicate with my own little spin on it. So I just kind of quickly sketched it out. This would definitely be easier if you just printed something out, and I should have done that. But once I'd created my template, I just grabbed my Sharpie, placed the glass on top of my template, and just drew straight onto the glass. So I went with this Hello Pumpkin sign. I thought it would just be another little added subtle extra autumnal piece of decor. So here is the finished project. Again, with this one, I don't feel like I executed it that well at all, but I think it is nice if you kind of add it in with a lot of other kind of cute autumnal bits. Next up, I had some old kind of offcuts of fabric, and I saw on Lone Fox's channel that he did something called drop cloth pumpkins. So I wanted to kind of do my own spin on this. So I just started by drawing a circle on the cloth and cutting it out. It doesn't need to be a perfect circle, but I just found it easier to trace around a big mixing bowl. Once I cut that out into a circle, I grabbed my little sewing tin. And all you're going to want to do is just do a running stitch around the outside of the fabric. Doesn't need to be neat, you're not really going to see it. Do a running stitch and kind of ruche the fabric up. The further you get round, it will kind of create this sack, which you are going to be filling. So don't completely sew it up, because you're going to need room to put your filling in. I actually had this spare pillow lying around. You can just buy pillow filling from Amazon, but I had this spare, so I just wanted to reuse it. So I just started stuffing my fabric with the pillow stuffing. Once I thought I had enough in, I continued my running stitch along the top, and I pulled the thread tight and knotted it and cut it. So I ended up just with this kind of ball of stuffing. You're then going to want to take thread again. I only had blue, which wasn't my preferred colour, but I just kind of went with it. You don't see it that much. And I put a knot in. I went up through the bottom of the pumpkin, up the middle and out the top, wrapped it around the outside, and then went up through the bottom again. And you're going to do this maybe like 4 or 5 times depending on how much you want. But what it will do is, rather than it just being a ball of stuffing, it will kind of create grooves on the outside of the ball to make it look more like a pumpkin. Definitely go check out Lone Fox's one because he executes it so much better than I do. Then for the stalk of the pumpkin, I actually had some of this card that was from my Amazon parcel. So I rolled it up and just got my hot glue gun again and kind of glued it onto the top of the pumpkin. So it created a kind of brown paper effect stalk. I had a few different kind of colours of fabric, so I did 3 different versions of the pumpkin, 2 larger grey ones, and then I also did a smaller baby pink one. I thought these turned out really well. I was really happy with them. They're a very kind of unique style of autumn decor, and also what's great is that you can use whatever colour you want. I don't have a lot of ambers and oranges in my house, so I wanted something that was a lot more neutral that would fit in with my kind of decor. Next up, I had this old candle jar, which I got rid of all of the wax. I love the shape, but the silver's not really my style. You guys may have seen that there is this kind of baking soda trend going around. So I've been doing that so much and I love it. All you do is add baking soda or bicarbonate of soda in with your paint, mix it up, and it gives this really nice paint texture. I just used a sample pot of emulsion paint I had lying around, which was the colour that I wanted. And I'm so happy with the final result. As you can see on the vase behind as well, I did the same kind of technique. A lot of people do a 50-50 ratio of paint to baking powder. I just kind of winged it, to be honest. The more baking powder, the more texture you're gonna get. Last up, I actually had this black macrame hoop that I ordered from Amazon, and it was just lying around, and I also had some of these flowers from IKEA. So I decided I wanted to do a kind of nice floral wreath. All I did was literally cut bits off of the bouquet that I wanted to use. I just started doing a kind of leaf base. I laid a couple of larger leaves down first just to get a kind of base layer up that I could build on top of. This again was very much trial and error. I just added stuff as and when and just sort of built it up, stepped back and looked at it. It's super easy to do though. You literally just get your hot glue gun and glue the little bits on. For anyone interested, this bouquet of flowers was from IKEA. It's called the Smicker. I'll try and link them down below, but it was £9 for a bunch of flowers. I'm literally only cutting it up and using it because I had ordered it to use in a vase and I just didn't like the way that they looked in the vase that I wanted them for, so I kind of had them lying around. You can buy artificial flowers from literally anywhere. Much cheaper places like Poundland would have them. I like this one in particular because it had a lot of kind of greyish greens in it and a lot of eucalyptus as well. That's what it was kind of looking like when I did my green base layer, and then from there I just took some flowers. I had one large rose that I wanted to be the focal point, and then I just started building up other flowers around it. But yeah, I just kind of added bits. There's no rhyme or reason to this, just add as much as you want. And the idea for this is that I wanted it to kind of be on like the bottom right corner. One tip I found was that it's good to have a lot of variety of kind of like textures as well. So you can see that I'm adding in these more kind of rubbery 3D kind of leaves. And I felt like they gave it an extra kind of element. Once I was done gluing my flowers on, I just got a little bit of macrame cord, wrapped it around the top and hot glued a loop to be able to hang it on a nail. And this is how it turned out. I'm so happy with it. It looks a little bit wonky, and that's because it definitely needs like another nail or something in the bottom to keep it even, because obviously the design's meant to go up the bottom and the right hand side. But I think it turned out really nice. I wish I actually had a bigger hoop because this was quite a small one. I'll leave the link for the one I used down below. I have seen that there is another hack going around where you can actually buy a hula hoop from like Poundland, wrap it macrame cord, and then do something really similar with that as well. So if you're looking to do something like this on a bigger scale, that is definitely a really good budget option.
Right guys, that is everything from me. So that took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, and I have so many glue gun burns on my hand now. But yeah, some of those turned out really well, some of them not so much. I felt like the conker kind of centerpiece didn't turn out how I imagined it to. And also the Hello Pumpkin frame sign wasn't as finessed as I would have liked. But I have to say my favorite was actually the wreath that I did. That's something I think I'm gonna keep up like all year round. I absolutely love that. And yes, the bicarbonate of soda kind of paint, I've been doing so much of that lately. So I really, really rate that as like a painting technique, and it's perfect if you are painting something like glass and you want it to look ceramic. Sometimes when you paint glass, it can just look like painted glass, but this is like a really good hack to get more of a kind of pottery, higher end kind of look. So yeah, I hope those have been helpful or amusing for you guys. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upcoming video. And until next time, I will see you guys later.